Hey guys, Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached. I'm here to review the movie A Long Shot, a romantic comedy between Seth Rogen and Furion. I can't read the name above that, unfortunately. It's too blurry on my screen, but hopefully you can see it. Um, Anyways, I had not heard about this movie. It's again, as I mentioned, a rom-com, a more so political rom-com. As Seth's character, I forget what his name is. I had my notes, but with the lag of putting up my notes, I had feared that that would uh, break away and lag all the stuff. So again, uh, before I can go any further, if you please feel free to donate to the Patreon on the link in the description. Any donations will go toward getting another laptop or another computer, so that I can have more ease of having something to go off of so that this can stop happening. Anyway, Seth's character plays a reporter who once met Theron's character here, who is a Secretary of State, and she learns that the current president is making the jump from what he's doing now to being an actor in Hollywood or wherever. Um, so she's stepping up to the plate, trying to gain his support in the process. The two meet up again. He has his friend, Seth Rogen has his friend. Um, they make it pretty clear early on, with his best friend being black, and like setting up stuff like that. And then like later on in the film, you learn that Seth Rogen's well, you learn immediately in the movie for Seth Rogen's character that he's a Jewish character, and then he like made his way into like this Nazi group, or whatever that they refer to themselves as currently. He almost got a Nazi tattoo, in fact, and then it was almost done, and then like he got found out. Um, but anyways, it was like, oh, a reveal to like the friend of Seth Rogen's character happens to be in the opposite camp of politics. He was a Republican. Uh, and Seth's character did not know that, and they were friends this whole time, and it comes to a head at some point in the movie. But the two of them are at this party where they meet Theron's character. She's already sort of made her declaration to, or like setting up for like presidency stuff. So eventually she gets him to write for her speeches, using a little bit of comedic timing for the speeches to get the press to be like, haha, it's a funny person, I'll make them more likable on the votes. All the meanwhile, she already knows who he is from the past, and he sort of briefly told the story to the friend. So it shows a few little montages of him like writing for her, and them getting to know each other through that. So that's primarily where most of the romance comes from, is like this sort of interview like style setup, in which we learn that the powers above, the president above, says that she needs to drop her main platform in order for her to continue to make leeway on all these political movements and whatnot. So it's a question of whether she will maintain her political stance as well as maintain her relationship, or sacrifice both of these things to fall to a quote corrupted a corrupt, like, blackmail, as we come to learn later on, sort of system. So, with that being said, she's really thinking about it. She is really desperate to go all the way. So she considers dropping it, and they've been moving from location to location. All the meanwhile, the relationship between the two has transitioned from the into way more romantic, into eventually the short sex scene, and then they are obviously in that type of romantically involved of, like, behind closed doors, because she's a politician now. um, and eventually her as co-secretary, I guess that's what her job title would be, or something along those lines, is also sort of leaning on figuring out all this stuff. um, it all comes to a ways where, she has that big choice, and at that point in time, she makes the choice of continuing on, and that kind of upsets Seth's character. Um, but we see from, when she talks to the president and one of her other, quote, I guess, supporters, like this guy who kept pestering her, um, about, like, oh, hey, how do you change your image and blah blah blah. Um, so he essentially, lays it on her, why she should, and again brings up the blackmail thing, bringing up how Seth Rogen's character jerked off to her while she made one of her speeches or whatever. So this made her choice even more lenient toward, at least in that moment, uh, to continue to follow along. That is, up until this one speech where, like, her first main speech about, like, running for presidency, and she's starting to read the script word for word. She read Seth Rogen's jokes, and he's, like, separated from her now. And this is where he learns all about his best friend at this point. But they still deal with their stuff, like, afterwards, and remain, like, friends, I guess. So they watch the little news as she's making her speech, and she stops in the moment where she starts to refer to herself as a kid and what she thought of, like, as a kid, and then she felt disappointed. So she eventually comes clean, in which the president's other guy, I forget what his job title is, throws out that video, and she even says, like, this is who this is. This is the person I fell in love with, and yeah, he jerked off to me, but that's fine, I guess. And then everyone slowly but surely, like, actually, like, he's, like, running toward her, like, she's starting to gain support regardless, I suppose. So the two meet up, and then she makes her little speech about that, and then wins the people over when they find out about the corruption on top of all that stuff. So it cuts to them actually winning, with her being the first lady as far as this movie's concerned, and him being what they consider the first man. They do, like, a little bit of showing off of the White House. And then I think that was about it. I don't remember anything else after that. So that was the movie Long Shot. I haven't seen a political movie in quite a while. I feel it's been. So it's a little bit odd, considering that I usually don't talk politics all too much on my channel. I think it's come up, like, once, maybe, like, when in one other movie semi recently that just happened, that I reviewed. Other than that, I don't really think I've covered that many politically like strained movies, but this one just happens to have a comedy thrown throughout. Some of it being physical comedy with Seth Rogen's character like falling down the stairs and all stuff like that. Some of them being like, haha, like all of Republicans are this, or all Democrats are this. Political jokes. Um, and I don't know. I think it's okay-ish. um, they obviously lean on, obviously, in a type of movie like this, you're gonna end up leaning one way or the other, obviously. So, I think the leaning is obvious. The jokes are pretty general. Again, there's some that are like a little bit different in terms of like physical comedy. Um, so I don't know if you're someone who finds political humor funny and you happen to also lean this way. Again, I feel like the requirements to enjoy this movie are a little bit slanted to one specific thing almost. Um, which again I think hurts the movie a little bit too much. And I mean, in all honesty, I didn't even see any. I haven't seen any reviews of this. I haven't seen any trailers for this. I just saw it on the when I went to go see movies. I just saw it there, so I decided to check it out. So I was like, huh. So again, there's not really a lot to go off of on those regards. So yeah, I think it's a in the middle of the road type of movie. I'd probably give it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. But anyways, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you did enjoy this entire video, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. Again, as I mentioned, one will send you over to my Discord server first and foremost, and the other will send you to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated. Until next time, everyone, bye-bye.